Today's Pup Private Eye, we look at the mystery of the Army Men. Jinx took a photo of her husband sorting through his Army Men toys down in their basement, and all of a sudden, an ad for those very same Army Men ended up on his phone. How did that happen? Was it coincidence? Was the phone spying? Or could it be something else? Privacy Pups here to figure it out. Let's go. Welcome to Pup Private Eye. Today we have Jinx with us for a very bizarre mystery. Jinx, welcome to Pup Private Eye.
Thank you for having me here.
Well, I'm so interested in what you have to share. It is quite the mystery. Tell me what happened?
Well, in an effort to organize and sort at the beginning of the year, like most people do, I had my son go through his boxes of toys in our basement, and it was the basement at our cabin. We came across a box of Army Men that were a mix of some more recent 80s, 90s Army Men and some that were my husband's toys. Flash. We'll call him Flash. And my son and I took pictures with Google Lens just to make sure we didn't have something equivalent to a Fabergé egg on our hands.
Like the $1 million stock that
I'm like,
you throw away?
Right. Is there $1 million Army guy in this bucket of Army Men? Anyway.
And 1 second, Jinx,
yes.
Just in case somebody doesn't know, what is Google Lens?
So Google Lens is a little camera icon on the Google app that you can hold up to anything, basically. A piece of pottery, a plant, toys. And you take a picture with the camera icon and it scans whatever it's scanning, whatever it's doing, and tells you what it is, the approximate value. Sometimes eBay pops up. So what we found is that we just had a pile of old Army Men. So
no value but in the playing.
Right. We looked at it, got a little overwhelmed, and like, oh, we'll put this box aside. So a month later, Flash and I were at our cabin, and I said, hey, Flash, can you go through this box? Because, half of this is toys from when you were young in the 70s. So Flash, I took a picture of Flash first, just for the memory, because I like to have pictures on my camera roll. And an hour later, when Flash opened X to look at the news, there were ads for not only just Army Men, but the exact same Army Men that he was looking at that were from probably the 60s.
Wow. Okay. So let's cipher off some of the clues here, okay?
Yep.
So first, you took the photo. I want to affirm these things.
Yes, I took the photo a month later after, and in between this time and between this month, I had not talked about Army Men, didn't look at any more toys. It was just something I did a month before. Okay. And Flash didn't look at anything on his phone pertaining to Army Men. It was just me taking a photo of him sorting through the box.
Okay. But the ad ended up on his phone.
Yes.
And it landed in his X app.
Yes.
Okay.
And about a half hour later, when he looked at X again, it was an ad for another version of Army Men that he didn't have.
Okay. And how long did he continue to get Army Men ads for?
Probably the entire weekend for a few days.
Okay. So he kept getting similar ads
yes.
over and over and over again.
Yep.
All right. And were both phones connected to the same Wi-Fi?
Yes.
So both phones were connected to the same Wi-Fi at the cabin?
Yep.
And do both phones connect to the same Wi-Fi at your house?
Correct.
And does your son's phone connect to the Wi-Fi at your house?
Yes.
Does it also connect to the Wi-Fi at your cabin?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So you are an interconnected household.
Right.
So the ad exchange would know that all of you are connected together by your Wi-Fi.
Correct.
And the fact that you go from one house to the cabin enter the house and are often seen together shows it that you are very closely connected.
Correct.
This isn't just a off party
Correct.
of like, let's clean up the party men.
Right.
Or the party men, the army men.
The army men. Correct.
Okay. So I'm going to get my glasses out here because we're going to go a little bit more in depth here. So you both have X installed.
Correct.
Did you both have your personalized ads turned off on X?
No, we did not.
Okay. And did you have data sharing with advertisers turned off?
Probably not.
Okay. We're going to insert a privacy pup here to show all of you who may be interested how you can check on your own X, if you use that app, if your personalized ads are turned off, and what you can do to turn them off if that's something that you want to do. Had either one of you looked up Army Guys or done a search for the Army Guys?
Not since the month before.
Okay.
With my son.
So you didn't necessarily do a Google search of Army Guys, but you did use the Google Lens.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So, and you explained quite clearly what you did with the Google Lens and what came up. So that was really helpful. And it did clearly identify the toys, and it identified even the brand of the Army Men.
Correct, because we had some boxes
Okay.
still from the 60s.
And you already mentioned that you were trying to figure out the value of them because
Correct.
you wanted to know if this was like 3M stock.
Right.
Hidden in your box. All right. So how quickly did the ads appear? You said about a half an hour later? The ads
Yes,
started
after the
appearing
photo.
on his phone,
Correct.
not yours.
Correct.
All right. Did they ever appear on your phone?
Not at all.
Where do you back up your photos?
Well, Apple Photos,
Mhm.
Google Photos, and OneDrive.
Okay.
Several places
Okay. So for redundancy.
for redundancy.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's smart. Okay. But Google Photos is definitely one of your backups.
Google Photos is my main backup.
Okay. Thank you. So you use Google Photos. Do you have continuous backup on?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Round the clock.
Okay. Okay. So we know that Google Photos automatically analyzes all photos using AI in order to categorize them and, be able to search for a dog and bring up all the pictures of dogs and all of that sort of thing. And there isn't anything that we know for sure that they then use it directly in their advertising, but we know that Google is an advertising company and that one of their capabilities that they actively use on photos, according to their privacy policy, is that AI analysis. So, the Google Photos would definitely have known exactly what brand and what type of Army guy were in the boxes or in the box that Flash was going through. So I think we actually have enough clues now to kind of pull this apart, okay? And I'm going to start with the first clue and go on down, and then we're going to end with Privacy Pup summarizing this all in his Privacy Pup report, okay? So first of all, because you took the photo, but you did not see the ad, it means it was highly unlikely to be a direct, you took the photo, it initiated the ad. Because if that was the case, it would have gone to you. If that was what they were doing, it would have just been to you. The other thing is a big key here is the household connection, and advertising systems in general see people who are all a part of the same household as almost one unit. And so what one does affects what everybody else sees and does. This is why I once had a man say to me during a privacy thing, I always know what my wife wants based on the ads I'm getting on my feed. He's like, it's actually helpful. I know exactly what she wants. It's like, ooh, does she keep saying like diamonds? Anyways, that's an aside. So the fact that your phones were all connected to the same Wi-Fi is a really important piece of it. But probably the greatest factor here is using Google Lens, because what many people don't realize with Google Lens is that is a signal of intent, and Google treats it in similar ways to the way it logs searches. So when you search using Google Chrome, Google logs what you searched for and then categorizes you and identifies things you're interested in based on those searches. And it does the exact same thing with Google Lens. And so back in the month of January, highly likely that interested in military toys and interested in Army men would have become part of the profile in your household. Okay? And so then it uses that later to predict what you're likely to want and to see. So it was already in your household that you are a household where most likely, because it's all probability, that most likely it's Flash who is interested in the military and all of that, and, sent it to him because of information as well, because it not only has the household information. If Flash is using any of the Google products, does Flash use any Google products?
Yes.
Okay. So Google will have a really specific profile just for Flash based on what he uses and how he uses it. So if Flash uses Chrome, they will have every search that Flash has ever made. If he's using Google Docs, they'll have the title, or Sheets, they'll have the title of every document he's ever created. If he's using Calendar, they know where he goes and when he goes and with who he meets with and what organizations he does things with. And with you having Google Photos, they also basically have categorized where you are, what you've been doing, who are the important people in your life, etc. So it takes all of that information, combines it together, and makes it into predictive profiles that then predict, this is likely to happen. Now, here's the thing. There is no way to prove that when you then took the photo of Flash with the box, that it's really tempting to think that that's an obvious trigger, right? Like they already have all this information from January, from the beginning of the year, and then you take the photo and this happens. But according to Google's privacy policy, it doesn't use photos for ads. So I'm just telling you what's in the privacy policy. There have certainly been many instances where big organizations like Meta and Google have not followed their privacy policies and they've been sued for lots and lots of dollars. But I would absolutely not say that is what is happening, because Google, I have no money. I have Zippo. So don't come after me because you're getting nothing, because I got nothing. So that's most likely what happened. So how does that sound to you? What do you think? What are your questions?
Well, it's plausible. It just seems so interesting that it happened within minutes of taking a photo of Flash with the box of Army men.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it seems so obvious and common sense that they have these profiles that are literally constantly predicting us. And so, somebody out there went on the ad exchange and said, I want to have ads for Army men, for people to buy Army men. And, immediately the ad exchange said, Flash likes Army men. So, and the probability is that, it just happened to coincide. But it's hard not to think that in such a closed system like that you didn't amplify the signal with taking the photo.
And the box, I think, is not that common because it was a box from the 60s that was in the photo. And that's the exact same ad that Flash got on his phone.
Oh, that's interesting.
The exact same. And then 30 minutes later, it was for a different type of Army guy.
But the first one was literally
the exact
same
box.
brand, same box.
That box is probably easier to identify specifically than the army men themselves, too.
Yeah, that's our producer.
Hello.
Lee, say that again louder.
It's probably easier to identify the specific box within any kind of photo analyzation stuff than specific army men, too.
Yeah,
Because it would have a label
Yeah.
or a logo and stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It's so hard not to think in an advertising ecosystem that tightly coupled with that much data and information that you're taking the photo didn't trigger something in the same way that when I went to the doctor's office a while back and I had a Gmail account at the time. And while I was in my doctor's office appointment waiting for the doctor to come in, I got an ad from Amazon in my Gmail account offering me medicines, that they were a great place to buy medicines. And it's like, that's so sketch. How did it know? Well, it knew because of the subject line of my email. It said, thanks for checking in at, this clinic. Thanks for whatever. And so for sure, my Gmail account triggered that, right? So it's hard not to think that the photos wouldn't be doing something similar. But I cannot make that claim, and Privacy Pup will not stand behind it because we want to, give you the information that we know for sure. But absolutely, I think, you can make your own decisions about that. But any other questions or things that strike you with this?
Just, it's so fascinating how I know that, a month before I did Google Lens on that box and those army men, and then an entire month later that you take a photo and the ad popped up. It's just, it feels creepy.
Well,
it feels creepy to me.
It is creepy. And we can 100% say, because it is in the privacy policy, that Google Lens did absolutely identify the exact type of army men through the box. So that we can 100% say that Google Lens was a huge part of it. And it's something to think about when using Google Lens, to know that whatever you use Google Lens for, you are literally feeding data into your own profile and your household's profile. What you did impacted Flash.
Yeah. And I too see what Flash is buying, hats and,
on your ads.
Yeah, on my ads. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, are you looking for hats today?
Yeah. Yeah, no. Some people could get into trouble really fast.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let me just ask you one or two more questions, and then we'll wrap it up with our PUP Private Eye official report. Does it change how you feel about ads if they are predicting you?
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
How do you absorb and think on that?
I just feel like it's an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
And I know by using my phone and using all the apps that I do, I'm obviously agreeing to this, but it just still feels invasive.
Yeah.
And I just want less of that. So I'll be doing whatever I need to do to turn off whatever I have to turn off on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you decide to use Google Lens, you'll know that you're feeding your Google profile.
Yep.
And the profile of those in your household.
Right.
Who are all attached to you.
Right.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we go to the PUP Private Eye report?
I would just like to have more autonomy. I just want to go about my life without companies knowing what I'm doing, without anyone, I just want to go about my normal day and not feel like I'm targeted by corporations and other entities.
Thank you, Jinx, for saying that, because it actually gives me the opportunity to just do a quick pitch for the Privacy Matters to You initiative, because that's exactly what the initiative is about preserving human autonomy and about determining where to set your privacy dial in this data mongering age where our phones are just becoming data repositories that feed all the different advertising systems out there and all the different corporations who make a ton of money on us. And so if that's something that, if you want to regain your freedom and regain your autonomy, we have education and steps you can take with Privacy Pup as our mascot and guide to reclaim your data and to eliminate your digital profiles and practice a more simple, abundant way of life. Pup Private Eye final report. Jinx took a photo of her husband Flash sorting old army men at their cabin. Less than an hour later, Flash started getting ads on X for the exact same army guys. So what happened? Here are the 5 biggest clues. Clue number 1, ad appeared on a different phone. Jinx took the photo, but Flash got the ads. If the photo directly triggered the ads, we'd expect Jinx's phone to get them first. That pointed us away from the camera spying and toward household profiling. Clue number 2, same Wi-Fi network. Both phones regularly use the same Wi-Fi network. Advertising systems often group devices in the same household together. That means one person's activity can influence another person's ads. Clue number 3, personalized ads were on in X. Both phones had personalized ads enabled in X. That allowed advertising systems to use inferred interests and household signals to target ads more aggressively. Clue number 4, the Google Lens search. Months earlier, Jinx used Google Lens to identify and value those exact army guys. That's important because Google Lens acts more like a search engine than a camera. It identifies the objects in the photo, matches products, and infers commercial interest. Clue number 5, Google Photos analyzes images. Jinx's photos automatically uploaded to Google Photos. Most people don't realize this, but Google Photos doesn't just store images, it analyzes them using AI. That's how it can recognize dogs, beaches, texts, faces, etc. Google publicly says it does not use the contents of Google Photos directly for personalized ads. And there's no evidence that X was secretly scanning her camera roll, but we do know the images entered systems capable of recognizing what was in them. So the most likely explanation? This probably wasn't real-time spying. It was long-term profiling, shared household tracking, predictive advertising, and a well-timed ad campaign. The prediction factor and the timing made it feel like the photo caused the ads. But the stronger explanation is that the household had already been categorized as interested in military collectibles, and the ad system predicted Flash would respond to those ads. The real privacy lesson? The creepy part isn't always that your phone is listening. It's that advertising systems quietly build predictive profiles about us over time from tiny digital clues. Case mostly solved. Here's how to manage data sharing and ad personalization on X. Go into the app, tap on your profile photo on the left-hand corner, go down to Settings and Privacy, select that, scroll down to Privacy and Safety, select Privacy and Safety, scroll down again till you get to Data Sharing and Personalization. This is where you can set your privacy dial accordingly. First, let's start with ad preferences. If you don't want X to personalize your ads based on the data it knows about you, turn that off. Go on back to Inferred Identity. This allows X to personalize your experience with your inferred activity. For instance, the activity on devices you have not used to log into X. So if you don't want X to know what is happening on other browsers and devices and phone numbers and email addresses that you have, turn this off. Then go back to data sharing with business partners. Determine if you want to allow additional information sharing with business partners, and if you want to allow videos from YouTube to play inline. If they play inline, that means X can log which videos you watch and your engagement with them. If you have this off, then X will send you out to the YouTube app or mobile website in order to see those videos. Go on back to location information and determine if you want to personalize based on places you've been. For precise location, it's highly recommended you have this disabled. Otherwise, X will know exactly where you are whenever you're with your phone. So go ahead and turn that off. And then you can also see your data on X if you want. That can be interesting. Just press see your X data if that's what you want. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to go on back to Grok and third-party collaborators. Depending if you use Grok or not, you will have some settings you can put in place here. For now, I'm just going to delete conversation history and then go on back. And as a final thing, if you want, go to the privacy policy and learn all the ways X can collect your data.